What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to review Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. Now, first things first, I do want to thank the developers for providing me a code for this game. I'm a day late to when other people have probably done a review, but I wanted to make sure about this game, just give it that one extra day, put it up on the weekend. This game is great, though. I would say if you're even moderately interested in it, I would go for it. There's nothing glaring that's going to turn you off in the game. We'll go over the pros and cons, as the video goes on. But if you were considering it, I'd say go for it. 2 years ago, they remade the first game. This exact same studio remade the first Destroy All Humans. And honestly, and I still think this, it was one of the better remakes of this era. This era of remaking games. They knocked it out of the park. There's problems, just like there's problems here. But overall, they captured the essence of the first game. They weren't afraid to change things, right? Modern day, the jokes and the things that they're saying in Destroy All Humans 1 and 2, a little risky, right? You may not be able to get away with saying some of this stuff on Twitter without being attacked. So I really am. I respect them quite a bit for sticking to it and just saying, no, we're going to do a faithful remake. We're just going to take those games. It is the same game. It's the same story, all that stuff. And we're just going to kind of modernize it. And I think they did a phenomenal job 2 years ago. And they did a phenomenal job here. Destroy All Humans 2 was always my favorite of the two games. I'll always have a soft spot for one, considering it's the first one I played. But these games were amazing back then, and they're still amazing now. So when I review a remake or a remaster, I tend to focus more on what's changed or what would hold up now versus not hold up now, rather than the story and stuff. Because, again, it is the exact same thing. I think the story of this game is rather good. I think the open worlds in this game, and I say worlds plural because there's a couple different locations, actually more than a couple, but they're all good. Everything's very, very solid. I would say, in terms of a potential negative, this is still a game that was made, over a decade ago. At its core. So when you're playing this game and you may feel oh, well, it's a little limited in terms of, the world. It is alive. The world actually moves around and people are doing stuff, but, it doesn't feel like a game that was created in 2022. Does that make sense? And that, that's to be expected, in my opinion, when you're playing a game like this, because it's not, they're just trying to upgrade everything. It's not made in 2022. It was made many, many years ago. But if you can get past that, there's plenty to do in this game, right? There's actually, the main mission, the story of this game is quite long. It's quite long. Now you're going to go from one mission to the next mission to the next mission, talk, do objectives, and go back to talking. But I really feel like they mix things up enough. This is back, I guess, in that era where I just feel like even though with the weapons and all that stuff, there is diversity there, but there's not an abundance of it. So when you think of, well, what can you do to make each of these missions different, they do a pretty good job setting them in different locations, or one you'd have to protect somebody, one you have to mind control people. There's always something kind of different. The game visually looks really, really good. It definitely is, I would say, a continual step up from a few years ago. Now, there is one issue that I noticed immediately, and I was like, all right, I'm going to keep my eyes on this. I'm going to watch this, and maybe I shouldn't, and maybe a normal person wouldn't, and so I kind of want to preface it by saying that this game takes almost a zoomed in approach. So if you're having a back-to-back conversation, you're talking to another person, the camera will be pretty darn close, up into the face of either one of you, whoever's talking. However, it will sometimes have a shot where the camera is seeing both of you. And when it sees both of you, or maybe even when it just sees one, if it's pulled back enough and you can see the ground, there's a lot of pop-ins. There's a lot of, in this game, things when they are fully popped into the game, they look very, very good. The issue is just it takes a while for them to get there. I didn't notice it as much in the open world. The open world tends to, even if you're in the flying saucer, it looks fine. I really don't think there's massive issues there. But I would say when you're talking, you can sometimes literally see the grass basically come to life as the cutscene is playing out. So and I noticed that literally the very first cutscene, and I was like, ooh, is it gonna do this for the entire game, or is it just maybe the first time? And so I watched it, and again, maybe you're not gonna do that. Maybe you're gonna focus on the characters, which I don't blame you, but it is just something to know. It's a little rough around the edges. There are some glitches, like some small like quality of life almost updates that I think this game needs to get, and it may get it for day one. I'm not actually honestly sure, but again, once you get through all that, the game is beautiful. The game really, really is very nice looking. I think it works as a modern game, and then everything else is the same. I mean, it's the same weapons from Destroy All Humans 2, but they're better than 1. They're more fun than 1. I think the game is just overall more fun because it opens things up. Again, it gives you kind of different things to do. The weapons are cooler, and you have more of them. You have more abilities, like with your mind, to use on people. If you've never played either of these games, again, it's tough because there is that sense of you're gonna play it and it's like, ooh, like there's things to do in each like location, but it's not like filled to the brim. It's not Assassin's Creed. It's not The Witcher. There's not like 20,000 things to do in a given location. Yet again, there's not really supposed to be. The main focus of this game is on the story, is on the characters. And by the way, like again, the jokes are very funny. Like I laughed out loud several times at this game in a good way. I guess at it, as in I was laughing with the game, or the game was expecting me to laugh. But I had a lot of fun. This game is a lot of fun. It's not gonna blow anybody away. But again, and I think for a game that is a remake, it's the second game in the franchise getting remade. It's a franchise that was moderately big, but we're not talking about like the biggest franchise of all time back in the day. Again, if you were moderately interested in getting this game and you were just kind of hoping, all right, well, are there any like game-breaking bugs, or is this kind of worth it? It's worth it. It's taking a time capsule. You're going back in time. It's gonna feel still a little bit dated in terms of the mechanics and in terms of it doesn't have too much to do in it, but at the same time, it's an amazing game, and it's still a lot of fun. The gameplay is a lot of fun, and it looks a lot better, it runs a lot better, everything is better about this game. And now is time that I want an actual Destroy All Humans 3, which we'll talk about in another video. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.